What's up, you beautiful Redditors? Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. Welcome to the RNEWS Evening Show. And let's just jump into it. From r/politics, the president just committed a felony. Trump tells NC residents to vote twice, openly encouraging voter fraud. What's the over-under on the length of time before we start hearing that he was just joking? That slowly evolves into, he never said that. I think they stopped bothering with that. They don't really care regardless. I don't care follows, he didn't do it, in the hierarchy of unethical Republican excuses. Suddenly, all I hear is crickets from the Law and Order Party. My laws and your orders. If you look at page 34 of the GOP playbook, you'll see the appropriate responses to "bruv, it was a joke," followed by "snowflake Dems." What he and his sociopathic cronies don't understand is that most of us don't decide how to act based on what we can likely get away with. We are bound by laws but also our own ethics, morals, and integrity. This is not a hard concept. Most lawless president in American history. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/news, Rochester police officer tells activists she's being arrested for being an idiot. I'm from Rochester. Last year they tried to pass a law where any cop can arrest someone if they were annoyed by them. It didn't pass, but it's the same mentality. Suppose you were an idiot. And suppose you were a member of Congress. But I repeat myself. Mark Twain, a biography. That's a long-lasting burn. How many of those people were prosecuted again? An exact number, 0. That's certainly a round number. Activist arrested for trespassing and trying to break into a credential-only event. The officer told her he was arresting her for trespassing as he was walking her away. But the headline, "Activist arrested for trespassing," doesn't generate quite the clicks and comments that arresting somebody for being an idiot does. I fault whoever chose to headline "being an idiot" over being arrested for trespassing. Why must we always choose divisive inflammatory rhetoric over a truthful and less divisive approach? What they were actually arrested for. Martin was taken into custody after she and other members of the group forced their way into a section of the public safety building on Exchange Boulevard. The activists had been attempting to access a news conference hosted by Mayor Lovely Warren that was reserved for credentialed members of the media. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/World News, U.S. court, mass surveillance program exposed by Snowden was illegal. Is anyone who proposed or authorized this crime going to be tried for their criminal actions, or will it be just the low-level operators who actually committed the crimes? Is anything going to be done to stop this happening again? Or are the people involved just going to bury their operations deeper? It's illegal, but it's the government doing it. What are they going to do? Sue themselves? We've investigated ourselves and determined we did nothing wrong. We've investigated ourselves and determined we did wrong. We're not going to do anything about it. FTFY. The court also noted that 0 cases of terrorism were specifically prevented by the surveillance. Does this imply that the US admit that Snowden actually helped to uncover a massive-scale crime? In which case he'll need to be considered a hero, deserving statues. Maybe a pardon. I read his book, The Stuff the Government Was Collecting, and probably still is, and could view at any time it pleased. Was quite disturbing. Some of these guys were using it to stalk their exes. Super creepy. The US used to do illegal surveillance. They still are, but they used to as well. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/News, Boston police officers allegedly committed over $200,000 in overtime fraud. Our state police are just getting to the end of their overtime scandal. www.wbur.org. Yup, and look at how many are just slaps on the wrist for literal fraud by stealing taxpayer money. Suspensions for fricks so they can go back and do it all over again. These officers are untrustworthy to the MA society. You didn't need the last 4 words of your last sentence. Worked on the force for 5 years when I was much younger. Literally everyone is crooked. If you aren't, you get singled out quickly and given crap posts. Was top cadet. Had a special assignment as a rookie that people would kill for and lasted for a couple years. Exemplary marks and evaluations. Spoke up when someone did something extremely illegal, immoral and just crappy. Get transferred to non-contact post. Speak up about transfer. Get transferred to the worst post for remainder of my time. Crap is systemic and they are not your friends and don't have your best interests. Seattle officer did it too for $414K in 2019. I am sure at 58 he was totally working 100-hour weeks the entire year. Well crap, now I don't feel too guilty for taking a 30-minute tea break instead of 15 the other day. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/politics, Trump encourages North Carolina residents to vote twice to test mail-in system. Paraphrased. And then BSP. Trump actively encourages his people to break the law so that he can claim to prove that others could, maybe, possibly, also break the law if they were inclined to behave like him. And then BSP. Is that not criminal behavior? Yes it is, and there's frick all we can do about it, because he's president. It's the same old story. Here's what's coming. Trump says something monumentally stupid. Lesson, we are here his bowel washes do damage control. HES being sarcastic. Trump denies it was a joke. Throws everyone defending him under the bus. His supporters freestyle talking points. Actually, maybe some people should vote twice. Trump caves backs the bus over his defenders. Okay, it was a little sarcasm maybe. Maybe not. I sincerely wish that you are wrong, but you aren't. Trump told an entire state to commit a felony. I requested my mail-in ballot today. I'm in NC. They do stringent ID check here for ballot by mail. Nothing like what he's suggesting exists here. Also worth adding, our governor and sec of state are both Democrats. You can be sure they won't allow anyone to vote twice. Agbar says he doesn't know if that's illegal. Barr is insane. He's basically admitting incompetence if he doesn't know that voting twice is illegal. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/news. Woman, 105, leads lawsuit seeking reparations for 1921 Tulsa Black Wall Street massacre. My great-great-aunt Susie Bell owned a string of restaurants on Black Wall Street. She was best known for the Bell and Little Cafe, which was so popular even whites wrote the color lines to dine there. To add some perspective to her success, I remember my mother telling me that she once sent my great-grandfather $1,400 cash, around $30K in today's money, to buy some land just because he wanted to buy more. She lost everything after the massacre. She went from being a successful restaurateur to a housekeeper. She tried so hard to build her businesses back up in Tulsa after the massacre, but they made it impossible. I don't think people understand how devastating and long-lasting this horrible event was for the people it affected. It stripped away legacies and hope. I'm so happy to see there are steps being made to finally get justice, sadly almost 100 years later. Edit. Deleted repeated word. One of the worst events, man. I feel ashamed that I'm in my 30s and have never heard about this. Be ashamed of our educational system, not yourself. You can still learn now. And that's where we're going to end today's show. But if you like what you saw, leave a like. And if you want to see more of the RNEWS show, hit that subscribe button. As always, this has been the RNEWS show and I'll see you tomorrow.